Okay, so I'm going to be making a how-to video on how to make a fish trap. So what you're going to need is some scissors, or you could use a X-Acto knife. I think that works better. Two zip ties. You can also use string, but zip ties are a lot easier, and a regular bottle. Okay, so what you're going to need to do first is take your bottle and then find like a spot where you can take off the wrapper part. It helps if you take it off where the glue is. And then you just have your empty bottle. And then some people like to take this ring off, but I leave it on there because it's not going to do anything really. So then when you cut it, you have to be really careful because if it's too big, it won't fit. If it's too small, it's going to go straight to the bottom of the tube. So you're going to want to do it about right here where it bends right here, and then where it starts to go straight down. So at these lines right here. So I'm going to cut around this first line. Okay, so I cut it, and I'm using a bigger water bottle. It's bigger than just the little water bottles. I think this says that it is 12 ounces. Normally, the other water bottles are only 8 ounces and stuff like that, but I like using the bigger ones because you can catch bigger fish and stuff like that. Okay, so this fits, it sticks out a little bit, but that's fine. So what you're going to do is you're just going to squeeze it in there like this, and then you're going to take your scissors, or what helped me start cutting it is a knife. I just took it and I poked it through, and then I just took the scissors and cut it all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to take our knife. I'm going to poke a hole, so there's 2 lines right here. There's 1 and then 2. I'm going to go to the second one, and then I'm just going to poke a hole through it. Bad thing about using a water bottle like this is they bend because there's no air pressure in them, so got it. Okay, so I got 1 hole right here. You can kind of see it, right here. That's my hole. And it doesn't have to be super big, just big enough to where you can fit a zip tie through it. And now we're just going to do the same thing on the other side, but don't do it way over here when your hole's over here. You want it to be about right here, so they're lined up like this. So we're going to put a hole right here, again on the second line. Okay, so my other hole is right there. You can't really see it, but it's right here. Okay, so your zip ties can go through on both sides. Okay, so now we got to poke holes in this thing. So do the same thing, and for using for poking holes in this piece of the water bottle, I find it easier if you use just a tiny nail. Come here, nail. Just a little nail. Okay, my camera won't focus, so yeah, I find it easier if you do that. And then before you poke holes in it, you want to line it up. And remember to push this in as far as you possibly can without the water bottle crunching up. But if it does, it's fine because you can just do this and then poke it back. Okay, so there's 1 hole and there's the other. So now you're going to find 2 of the holes, or again, find 1 hole on here, which would be right here. And 1 hole in here, and line them up. So Or did they go right here? So you're going to take, when you zip ties, now when you do this, when you put a zip tie in, you do it like this. And you put it in this way. Well, on one of these, we're going to put it in this way. But this one, we're just going to stick through a hole. And then we're going to take, and we're going to stick it all the way through like that. And then we're going to take it and stick it through that one, like this. And then we're going to pull it in and pull the zip tie through. Just like that. And then you're going to zip tie it like this. Remember to get it all the way in there. And it's fine if it crunches it a little bit, like pulls it down and stuff. And then you're going to do the same thing with the side, but you're going to pull it out. Where's my hole? There it is. So you're going to pull this piece out, stick, and just do the same thing. Stick this through. But when we tie it, we do it differently. So pull it out, stick it all the way through. Now when we do this, that's the wrong way. So we need to turn it around. So it's going in basically like the opposite way of what a normal zip tie would be. So like this, we're gonna push this back in. And this is kind of difficult because you already zip tied that end. So that's what you're gonna do. As you can tell, this is kind of difficult. Just like this. Now I did take the zip tie out just to make it easier. So you're just gonna stick that back in. And then zip tie it the opposite way of what you would zip tie a normal. So like this. Sorry, before my camera might have cut off a little bit. Pull it through, push it down, and then zip tie it the opposite way. There. And then I cut off a little bit extra so it's like flat and it goes in and it fits better. So the reason why we put this zip tie in backwards is because if you catch fish or something and need to get it out, but you don't want to keep wasting your zip ties, what you do is if you put it in backwards, it can come out. Like this. But this one, hold on. This zip tie can't come out because you put it in the right way. So when you catch fish or something, they're in here, you need to get it out. Just do this, pull out the zip tie, open it up, dump your fish out. Now this is part one of how to fish trap. This video is basically just how to fish trap and then part one. But if you want to see part two, which I'm going to make hopefully either today or tomorrow, I'm going to go down to the pond over by my house and we're going to throw out the trap and catch some fish. And how, like, the pond in my house, the water moves and stuff. It's not, like, perfectly still because it has a filter and all that stuff. But, sometimes it helps if you if you poke a hole through both pieces, so just basically right here, and then you just tie some string to it, and then you can bring the string up to the bank and then put a rock over it so it can't float away. And then sometimes, because the fish aren't just going to go in here for no reason, you got to have some bait or something to draw them in. So, to catch little crawdads, I use just little pieces of chicken fat, and I just put it in there. Or to catch, like, guppies and minnows and stuff like that, I use fish food. It's called fish food. It's fish formula omega-1. That's what I use to catch fish. Or you can just use like Cheerios, bread, tortilla shells, soft shell works super, super good. Hamburger bread, like whatever, but just make sure that it's white. so they can see it. Because if it's dark, they're not going to see it as good. But we're going over by the watering hole, so that's where all the fish are. So, yeah. So, we'll go try this out. This is part 1. If you want to see part 2, just search how to fish trap part 2. And thanks for watching. Bye.